Well, hello. My name is Saoirse, and I'm an author. I've been thinking about the technicalities between an author and an aspiring author because I am not published yet. But I decided to go with the title of author because I think that aspiring denotes thinking about writing and not actually writing, and I am definitely writing. So I'm Saoirse and I'm an author. Now, I am currently working on what I'm going to technically call my third book. I say technically because the first book I ever finished and queried, went through a lot of different stages and a lot of different plots and rewrites. And so the 4 years that I spent writing it ended up being a couple different books. So yes, I am on my third book. It is a middle grade fantasy, and I fully intend to query it once I finish it. We are over a third of the way through on the first draft, and this channel is going to be my journey to traditionally publishing. So this is episode 1, if we can call it that, and it's going to be a little week of my life, specifically focusing on writing and writing related things. And I think I actually want to start with a little desk tour, and my desk is right there. So let's look at some stuff. All right. First, I have a fun drink. Usually it's coffee, sometimes it's water. And yes, water can be fun. Next, and I'm going to set this down. Next, I have my computer. And I also have a desktop computer. Next, I use Microsoft Word, and I trust no programs. So I have 2 5-terabyte hard drives, backup and backup and backup my book. I also have a keyboard that I built myself, and it is mostly functional. I say mostly because I haven't quite figured out the shortcuts yet, and I'm pretty sure there's not a volume key on here. I built it like a week ago. I also have a baby monitor and a lamp that my mom found on Facebook Marketplace. She is very pretty. And last but not least, I have some noise canceling headphones, but nothing too crazy. I'm definitely curious what you other writers have on your desks. And do you hyper back up all your documents? I have heard some horror stories of people being done with their book and something happens with Microsoft or Google Docs or whatever they use, and it deletes. So that will not be happening to me. And the desk itself I got off Facebook Marketplace. My dad is actually building me a writing desk, so this desk will not be around for much longer, but it has served me well, and it will keep serving me until that time. I need to write, surprise, and my daily writing goal during the week is about 700 words, so I need to get on that, and we'll probably read some later. I think I actually have some book mail that we're gonna open. Okay, book mail. I am super interested in owning what is technically a library, which I believe is 1,000 books. And we're getting there one book at a time. This is all keeping in mind that I do not want to own any books that I would not be proud of my son seeing. So I've definitely had to get rid of some books after I realized the content. And that's okay, because the journey is slow, but we're here for it. Anyways. This is Capitana. I came across this author on Instagram, good old Instagram, and it is, as far as I can tell, about a pirate school or anti-pirate school. I'm not really sure, but there's pirates and there's an academy, and I'm a sucker for a good academy. So I think I'm going to try to get to it this month, but we'll go ahead and add it to the shelf. Good morning. I slept through my alarm yesterday, but today I woke up before my alarm, so a win is a win. It's currently about 5:30 a.m. and so we're gonna get some writing done. But first I want to talk a little bit about my goals with this book. Right now my word count is 21,175 words, and I have a goal of 55,000 words for the end of March. Now I am writing a middle grade fantasy, and so it's a little bit lower on the word count compared to my last book, which is a YA, and it was a little over 100,000 words. But we're aiming for 55,000, and it might get a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller in edits, but yeah, so right now we are a little over a third of the way through, and I'm pretty happy with the progress so far. So like I said yesterday, during the week, my goal is 700 words a day, and then on Saturdays, it's about 1,500 words, and that's a total of 5,000 a week, and it's been going pretty good, especially with waking up early, so I'm feeling it today, so we're gonna get at it. That's all she wrote. All right, the sun has risen and I wrote 743 words, which is exactly what I needed to write. So we're gonna break to read. But first, I wanted to talk a little bit about what I'm reading. And to do that, I wanted to talk about what I grew up reading. So since I'm writing a middle grade fantasy right now, I wanted to read a lot more middle grade books. I grew up reading books like Gregor the Overlander, Conch Bear, Redwall, Seven Sleepers, Left Behind, and other books like this. That being said, I didn't read some classics that I'm trying to catch up on now, such as Harry Potter and Aragon. And so I'm trying to work my way through those quickly, and I'm currently reading Aragon. I'm over halfway, and I'm really interested in reading those classics and then also reading some middle grade books that have been published recently. So I have a couple in mind. Please let me know if there's any that you recommend that have been published in the last 3 years. But yes, as I get to those, I will update you. But I'm really enjoying reading middle grade books right now. And I know that Aragon is technically upper middle grade, maybe even goes into YA, but it's been fun. So let's go ahead and read. Good morning. We've made it to Thursday. I actually slept in this morning because I had such productive word counts the last few days and I needed the sleep. But I still want to write 700 words today, so we're going to get after that here in a little bit. I'm going to make some coffee. But first I wanted to talk about some books that I've been thinking about. Red Rising. That was my favorite book of 2025, and I've been trying to think of books that hit the same vibe. And I've come up with a few, and I figured I would show you guys. First, Darth Bane, Path of Destruction. Academy, Outer Space. Ender's Game, Academy, Outer Space. Will of the Mini, Academy, lots of scheming. Thirsty Ground, Outer Space, and some Academy elements. So these are my 4 books that have that Red Rising vibe. I wish I actually had the Red Rising book with me, but I borrowed it to my mom. Shout out, Mom. I hope you like it. Other than these 4, what would you add to the Red Rising-esque book list? All right, we've switched over to my phone because I am in a Safeway parking lot. It's actually Saturday. I skipped filming Friday because sickness has descended upon my household, though it has skipped over me. And I actually intended to end this video yesterday, so I have some wrap-up thoughts and we'll go from there. I did something yesterday that actually stresses me out a bit. I signed up for my first writing conference. The conference is in 2 months, and I'm gonna get to pitch an agent, and I'm gonna get a critique on my query letter and the first 10 pages of my current book. The whole thing kind of stresses me out, but I know it'll be good for me. And I had the goal of finishing the first draft of my book by the end of March, and now it's more of a deadline than a goal. So that's also kind of stressing me out. I think I'm gonna make a video like this once a month. So thanks for watching, and we'll see how this month goes.